Hi, this is Judith Reedy from the Creative Zone, and I am so excited that you are here. And I've been working on getting the sound right. I think it might have worked, and we're going to check and see if it does. But I am now streaming to both Facebook Live and YouTube. And so you can find me on my page, Judith Reedy Creative Zone, and my channel, Judith Reedy Creative Zone. And there you can join me when I talk about painting and all the ins and outs and the problems and solving them. I'll show you a little bit about what I teach, but please click on the link, like my page, follow me, do whatever, and that will be so helpful because then, and subscribe and do all that. First, though, I'm going to talk to you about painting and my process and what I go through every time I get together with you. First of all, I have a 4-step process. It begins with the idea, which is number 1. Sometimes it's in the photograph. Sometimes it's in a physical object that's in your house or your home or where you go. Sometimes it's out in the landscape. And there you are, and we're going to be talking about, well, we want to paint this, but not all that, and how can we not, especially when you're out plein air painting in the open air, there is so much to see. You have to eliminate certain things and compose your painting, and that's what we do in step 2, where we talk about, okay, we want this shape in there, we don't want that, we want to move this together, we want to change this. Sometimes you have it just the way you want the shapes, but you don't like the values, so we change those. That's what we do in step 2. In step 3, we start thinking, okay, we've got our values. How do we want our colors? Do we want to match them as best we can, or do we want to slightly change them? And how do we mix those colors to create that mood or have the value that we need so that we have the focus that we really have in our mind and the sense we want to create in our imagination and we want others to see. And then we do this in step 4, where we're actually painting. And sometimes when we paint, we might take a day, a couple hours, or we might take several sessions, depending on the size and complexity of the painting. And you can follow along with me. So I'm really excited to be doing that with you. And today I'll be talking to you a little bit about the new project that we've been working on. And as you can see here, I have the project kind of hidden behind some material. Most of the time I paint with what's called paint, like acrylic or oil paint. But here, I'm actually working in pastel, which I did for many, 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 many years. And the client who asked me to do this project for them gave me these photographs, as you can see, very high contrast photographs. They gave me pictures of their home, and I made some sketches. But then they said to me, well, I want it to be soft. So I had another view of the house, which I worked on, and another view here. And then finally, we came up with this plan right here that you can see, and I'll try to pick it up to show it to you close up. There you can see. But one of the things I didn't like was the size of this shape, and so I moved the whole thing over, made it a little smaller, made this trees a little bit more, and then that kind of moved this over into this area. So as you can see, it's a middle values, but I will be putting with light, middle to light. And if I showed you here, here's my grayscale. I would say most of this painting is in this range, and there's going to be a few things in here and one or few things in here, but it's going to be soft and light, and the values are going to be in that range. So that's why the contrast that you see in here is really the highest contrast will probably be in this area of where the flowers are going to be, which will be over here. And so I have to make this dark back here so that when I bring the flowers out, they will really stand out. So this was the whole problem, how I had to change the different images and adapt it to work with what I was doing. And then I took, in this case, as some of you have seen, I mix colors and I showed you this, but then sometimes with pastel, you overlay and mix colors, and I wanted to see how bright I could get, the contrast I could get. The darkest dark is still probably going to be in just a few areas that will pop, but basically a middle to light value painting. So let me get back here. I'm going to talk to you about what's coming up. For those of you who have signed up for my Color Foundations course, I want you to know that I have a new unit on color mixing, Unit 3, and you're going to have so much fun with that unit because we're going to be talking about, we're going to have a flower that'll have a value range, and then we're going to say, and it'll have a certain hue, and then we're going to say, let's change the color and paint the same flower. And we're going to do this and vary it, and you're going to understand how foundational values are and how you can adjust the hue and create an entirely different flower feeling just because you adjusted the hue. And it'll be just, I think you're going to really like it. And it's going to give you a great deal of freedom in your painting because you're no longer a slave to that photo or slave to something else. You can change it and you'll have the skill and ability, especially after you've already taken my course, which is my course 7 Essential Simple Tricks, and then the following course, Color Foundations. This course, you know, 7 Essential Simple Tricks, if you are struggling with mixing colors, and this course is done with acrylic paint, but you could use oil paint, and you could use watercolor, but there would be some variation, and I have a section explaining how that, because you're not adding white, you're adding more water in watercolor. But anyway, you can watch this course on your laptop or your desktop, your tablet, or your phone, anywhere, anytime. It gives you the essential colors, the warm and cool primaries that you need to make the most vibrant colors under any circumstance. And then I show you how to reduce the intensity of all these colors. You'll get brilliant purples and you'll get brilliant oranges and brilliant greens, but not always do you want those brilliant ones. So I'll show you how, using tints, tones, or shades, or complements, how you can reduce the intensity of a color, and you can move and change colors, and you're just going to get such proficiency in mixing color. And then you'll understand the theory behind it. And that's where those of you who are in Color Foundations, which is the second course, are getting that application skill, and you're going to be ready to mix these flowers. And it's going to be great fun. So anyway, the 7 Essential Simple Tricks to mix color is going to be so helpful to you. And you know what? You get this course. It's such a value. It's all for only $7. So I really suggest that you take a look at it, sign up for it, and really it's going to make a difference and simplify your color mixing experience. And you'll have so much more proficiency, and you'll understand, well, why that purple didn't turn out. And then you'll understand, I know how to make this purple the right way, the kind of purple I want. And so you're going to learn how to do that in there. And I also want to invite you every Tuesday and Thursday when I do a demo and I will be on Facebook Live, and I will be on YouTube on my channel, Judith Reedy Creative Zone. The page and channel, they have the same name. And so I hope you can join me. And so until next time at the Creative Zone, happy painting, and please remember to click on the subscribe, because I have lots of videos and lots of different trainings, and I know you're going to love it. So come again, and please say hi and make comments, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask.